And the G scale is kind of nice because you get 2 full octaves. But the thing that you're going to want to remember is that your fingerings will change a little bit. So I think I'm going to have Bethany go back to the whiteboard. And so the difference between the D scale that we have on our finger chart right now and the G scale is that we're going to take away the C sharps and we're going to make them C naturals. So especially the one she's doing right now, you're going to see how your first and second fingers have to be really close on both your first and second strings. And so that, if you don't have good hand position, that'll get you to, if your hand position, if you're getting burned, your C is going to be way sharp. You can see that when you don't hold your violin right, your C will go way high. And so it's a little tricky to keep those first 2 fingers together, but if your hand position isn't in a good spot, it's going to make your note sound high. And so that's why one of the reasons scales are so good to practice. And I'll have Bethany point at that as I'm playing this, just so you can kind of see what we've got going. So the G, we'll start with our 3rd finger. The A, B, here's our half step C, D, E, F sharp, and G. You can see how that F sharp G has to be. And if I had my hand in the bad position, instead of sounding like this, it's going to hurt your ears, but it'll sound. So it's just, that's what it should sound like. As soon as you move your hand in a bad position, you can hear how that changes. Sorry, I just had to do that though. Okay, that's fixed. Okay, but that's the big reason that people will not play the right note, is because their hand position is not where it should be. And that's something that does not come real natural. It's something you have to work at. So that's something that it's worth it pays its dividends though. It's worth doing. And so I think we'll just play our G scale in that higher octave and give it a try. So we'll all find our G note on the 3rd string, 3rd finger. Trick with that is think of the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow. That starts with an octave. An octave means from a low G to a high G, or any note to the higher note. So we know we have an open G. So you can play open G and find that G, then you know you're right on the money. So that's a good way to find fretted or fingered notes if you just have to start out with a clear blue. So we'll find that G one more time. And then just remember when we're on our first 2 fingers, good hand position, low 2 fingers. 1, 2, ready, here we go. G, open A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, E, D, low 2 C, B, A, G. Good. And then I'll have Bethany play that scale again, or you can all play it if you want. I'll do the harmony. 2, 3, 4. So we've actually got 2 octaves, so let's play both octaves. We'll just go all the way up and all the way back now, and I'll do the harmony. You can play it on. Or
Which line are you starting on, Randy?
We're actually, here's what we're going to do. We're going to start on the top line. We're going to go G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. and then we're going to keep going, and we're going to go all the way up to the.
So you go from
So then we'll
1 to 3.
To 3,
yeah.
and then we'll go back down, and then we'll jump back to the first line and go all the way back down. So good question. We'll just play the single G in between, then we won't play the double. 1, 2, ready, go. And the 2-octave scales are good to practice. This is one of the nicer ones because you don't have to get out of first position. You can just play it all in first position. Now we're going to do another real song. So Soldier's Joy, we're going to get into the key of D again. I guess Bethany and I will just play the song for you. We've got a couple versions of it, but we'll play the basic version on this page. We'll come in on the 4th count. 1, 2, 3. So there are like countless, endless versions of the song. So we wrote a couple of different versions of it, and so this is just a good basic version to get started with. And I think rather than spending a lot of time with that, we'll just kind of play a couple of these other ones, then talk about some backup, and because backup is real crucial when you're playing along with songs. It just adds a lot to them. I think what Bethany and I will do is play the next version of this song on page 3, and then we'll put it all together. So here's page 3, Soldier's Joy. 1, 2, ready, go. So Bethany and I were talking about this earlier today. You can mix and match and put little pieces and this version and that version, and sometimes you hardly ever play the same way twice once you know a lot of versions of these songs. So in fact, let's do that a little bit. You play whatever you want, I'll play whatever I want.
Some people play different versions of a song every time and they don't know the song.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah. But this will all be Soldier's Joy, though, hopefully. 1, 2, 3, go. So this just gives you a couple little flavors of things you can put in that song. So it's something you can take home and play around with. But one of the cool things on page 4, what we did kind of goes back to the whiteboard a little bit. We took yeah, that's how you go back to the whiteboard. We put some backup in for this song, and this is the key of D, so we're going to add the G chord to our mix. So in the key of D, our main chords are going to be D, G, and A. So a G chord will have G, B, D notes in it. And so on this version of Soldier's Joy, the only notes that we're going to play, and we're going to have Bethany circle these, would be the open D, the open A.
Wait.
Like for the backup, right? Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Right. Those two. That's going to be our D chord. Our A chord. Let's go. We've got a couple options on A. We could do the first two strings, open A and open E, or we could fat finger and do the A and the E on the low strings, and that would work. Theoretically, you could also do the open A with the E. Yeah. So we have 3 good options there. Let me see what we're doing here. That's actually the one we're doing on this song. We're doing that open A with the E. For the D chord, we're doing the open D and A. And for the G, we're doing the open D with the B. We're not even doing the G.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which B this B?
Right. So I'm going to have you do a little finger erasing here.
Okay.
Go ahead and erase the E on the first string because we're not going to use it. Or just erase the line around the E with your finger.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're in this, for the backup, we're not going to use that. And then erase the low A. Good. And so now go ahead and point to the D and the A. Open. That's our D. And I'm going to play that. So when we play this first line, remember Bethany a while back said that the strong beats were 2 and 4. That's what your backup is too. We're kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Those are our D notes. So I'm going to have Bethany point to the D and the A. Good? Thank you, Vanna. I mean, Bethany.
I'd like to buy an H.
And then the A chord is going to be the A and the E. And so the open A with the first finger E. And then the G chord would be the B with the open D. Okay, now we'll play.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we're just going to play this back up. It's not going to sound like much, but we just want you to hear what it sounds like, and then we'll play it with the actual song so you can hear what it sounds like. Okay, so we'll play it without a repeat. We won't torture you too much. Okay, 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. There's the A chord. 3, D. 3, 4. 1, 2. A to D, from D to A. And then now the next part. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Here's a G, D, A, D, G. Here's our D to A, and then